Let's talk about recruiting today. So, one of the biggest challenges that we're going to have for the foreseeable future is recruiting the right talent. This is not just a pandemic thing or anything like that. We're already seeing signs in the market a decade ago that it was going to be challenging to find the right people. So, this trend is going to continue for a really long time. And even if the trend gets better, it's going to get harder to persuade somebody to come work for your company versus somebody else's unless you have a relationship with them. So, one of my big tips for everybody is that you should have an ongoing recruiting process in your business. This should be something that's going on every day, anytime you run into the right person, because look, the average company looks for a new employee and they have like one strategy they use. Now, the strategy could be used on multiple websites, but the one strategy is we're going to create a job description. We're going to post that all over the place. We're going to post it in LinkedIn. We're going to post it on, hiring websites and all those kind of things. We're going to push it out there on social media. That's the strategy that everybody has. And you collect resumes. And once you have those resumes, you go through several rounds of looking at the resumes and you interview somebody, you choose a candidate, and then you kind of keep the resumes on file for some amount of time, which means you typically put them in a folder somewhere or whatever it is you do with it in your company. But then the next time you're recruiting for that position, guess what you do? You take that job resume or that job description, you dust it off a little bit, make some refreshing changes here, there, that kind of sort of thing, and you put it back out on the internet. You put it on LinkedIn, you put it on the job boards, all those kind of places. You pull in new resumes. Now that you got the new resumes, you sift through those, you put some of them in that file again, and then you decide to interview the small group of folks. And we repeat this process over and over and over and over again. Rarely do we ever take a look at that file that we've filed all of these resumes that didn't quite meet our standards. We rarely ever look at those ever again. Now, that's one strategy, is going back to those old resumes and staying in touch with them, periodically reaching out, checking and seeing what those people are doing, that sort of thing. But look, I think you've got to be more proactive than that. I think that when you run across somebody on LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever, and you really like, the way they write stuff, the way they talk about things, the way they carry themselves, their knowledge, expertise, any of that kind of stuff, you like that, I think you should put that person into your candidate database of, hey, next time we're searching for a position, this is somebody that I really like. I like the content they put out. I like their personality. I like that kind of stuff. I want to reach out to them. And you should just start building that database there. Next time you're out at a conference and you run into some folks and you're really impressed with some people, put them in your candidate database. Next time you are anywhere out on a social level and you run into somebody and you feel like, wow, this person's really impressive, put them in your candidate database. Now, you don't have to tell them they're going in your candidate database, but you put them in your candidate database so that next time you're recruiting and you know you need to hire a position, you can go back and look at people you already really like and would love to hire. Same thing goes with when you're on site with a client or whatever it may be. Or maybe it's even a client that, hey, if this person ever goes on the job market, I want to reach out to them. Or, hey, next time we're recruiting, even though they're already somewhere else, maybe I should reach out to them, and that sort of thing. And so I highly recommend you do this where you're proactively putting people that aren't even looking for jobs, you're proactively putting them in your database. Now, look, I know that LinkedIn has a setting that says I'm not looking for a job, that sort of thing, don't contact me. If you run across somebody you really like, you can politely reach out to that person and say, hey, I understand that your profile says that you don't want to be contacted for a job, and I respect that, but I have an opening that I think might be great for you. would you consider a conversation with me? Why would I do that? Well, I'll tell you the biggest reason why is maybe when that person set up their LinkedIn profile 5 years ago, they checked that box and it never occurred to them to go uncheck that box. And maybe now they're unhappy, but they're not actively looking for a job. You could be an answer to prayer for that person. So don't ever count anybody out and start looking at the people that you're already coming across that you already like and continue to build that database and build that database big and deep. And look, anytime somebody says, hey, I'm not interested, that's not a, hey, don't ever contact me again unless they say that. It's just a not right now. Leave them in the database because maybe you reach out to somebody like me and say, hey, Mike, we've got this amazing position. I think you'd be awesome. We need an interim CEO or whatever it is. And I say, hey, look, I've just got so much on my plate right now. I couldn't possibly, do that. But look, if you still need this in 6 months or 2-3 years from now, if this is still something that you're looking for, reach back out to me. I may say that, or I may just be flattered and say, no, thank you, whatever. Reach back out to me in a couple of years. Things may change. Life changes all the time. People like myself may sell their business, go and spend a year traveling, and then be looking for an opportunity. You never know. So keep that database, keep it updated. Look at people's LinkedIn profiles and things like that. Periodically check those things to see, oh, what are they doing? Are they doing something new? Is this a good time to reach out to them? But just keep building the database. And if you do that, next time you're trying to hire for a position, I guarantee you'll be able to do it a lot faster than you ever thought possible, especially if you have not just hundreds, but thousands of people in your database that are high quality that you've already vetted. You'll have trouble picking who to reach out to instead of saying, wow, we don't have anybody to reach out to. So if you have any questions about this, as always, you know how to reach me. We'll see you next time.